Took my family away from my Carolina home, had dreams about the West and started to roam. 6 long months on a dust-covered trail. They say heaven's at the end, but so far it's been hell. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. We were digging and shifting 5 to 5, selling everything we found just to stay alive. Gold flowed free like the whiskey in the bars. Sin was the big thing, Lord, and Satan was a star. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And blood lined the streets. Men were shot down for the sake of having fun, or just to hear the noise of their 44 guns. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. Now my widow, she weeps by my grave. Tears flow free for her man couldn't save. Shot down in cold blood by a gun that carried fame, all for the useless and no good, worthless claim. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there. And there's fire on the mountain, lightning in the air, gold in them hills, and it's waiting for me there.
Hey, YouTubers and friends. Welcome to another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty fun show tonight. As you all know, we have Jacob and Katie of Tidewater Magnet Thrower. Shouldn't that be throwers, though? Let's ponder on that, and I think I'll ask them why it's not throwers. But stick around, we'll be right back. Hey, YouTubers and friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of Tuesday Night Hangout Live with Toledo Jess, Dano, the Treasure Vixens, and I.
Close. We're getting close to question time. I'll keep my mouth shut because I was like, oh, I've got questions now.
I got a question, and that's my first one. Now, Jacob, it's two of you. That'd be plural. Why is it Tidewater Magnet Thrower instead of throwers?
So basically, I started this thing by myself, and I don't know, probably the first 10 videos or outings or so were solo, and then I got Katie a little magnet and brought her with me, and then I didn't expect her to get into it as much as I have, so now she comes with me pretty much every time. So,
and I think I've earned that S. Truthfully, I think I have earned that S.
You know, it's really easy to change that name.
Well, I did. I changed it on the channel, and I put an S on my intro for my first video, and then now I'm slowly. I got to go back in and do my logo with an S, and
yeah, we're gonna have some new stickers.
Stickers, yeah.
Right. Excellent. She earned that S. As everyone knows, we have Jacob and Katie with us, but first, we need to say hi to some of our friends. A lot of our friends. All 29 of you.
Like Nikki from Nikki's Prospecting and the Otworth gang. Pinger, how you doing?
Srip, good to see you again, and Gibby's Treasure. Jonathan Friend.
The world's
Jonathan Friend. I don't have a Jonathan Friend sticker. I've gotten a whole bunch of his pay dirt, but I've never gotten just a sticker to flash up when.
What? He didn't mail you a sticker with your pay dirt?
No, and I've gotten 2 bags. One I won. I won a bag, and then I purchased a bag.
Ellsworth.
Hey.
Hi, girls.
And then don't forget the world's greatest moderator, Mr. Lodak. He's in the house. Ohio Relic Hunter, David Villa, Susan Hamilton. How are you tonight?
I saw JP earlier.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, JP was in here, and we have Patrick O'Masters, our friend from the Buckeye chapter. Great event you were part of putting on, Patrick. I'm sure if Patrick's here, Sue's close by. It's always getting a nice hug from my sister Sue. Bill, good to see you, Ohio Relic Hunter.
Silver Scorpion, how are you? Brewers Prospecting.
Mark Muller.
Rose Briggs, how are you tonight?
We say hi to Willie yet? Willie, well, I gotta get used to saying William.
He changed his name to William.
Yeah, if he wants William, that's what he gets.
That's what he gets now. Sorry about the last time I texted in the room, Willie. I called you Willie and not William. It's good to see you here. And he was the first to chat in the room several hours ago.
Mr. Folks, how are you tonight?
What's up, Tom? Dig it?
Bob can see. I've seen some of your comments on our videos, man. I appreciate it.
Smokey Wilson. Welcome.
We have our good friend Kathy Johnson. Hello, Kathy.
Oh yeah, Kathy's become part of the Flash fam. How are you doing, Kathy?
Yeah, I've seen her around lately.
Yeah, she's everywhere and all the magnet fishing and treasure hunting. She's really
And she
active.
just started a channel too.
Paul Davis and Smith's Gold. Excellent.
Snorkel pirate.
Snorkel pirate.
Arr.
Snorkel, happy to see you, man.
Man, Rose is quick with those stickers.
Bob can see.
You know, I'm handy.
I had practice.
She has them all lined up in front of her. Just
I do. They're all. I've got 2 different sides. And yep.
Ellsworth says, when we were in Ohio, the girls thought we were going to another flash bash. Next June.
I wish we were too. I wish we were going to another flash bash. What's up, Benzo?
Thomas, you were missed over the weekend. Snork Aaron, good to see you. Benzo bro. Takes time, Kathy. Takes time.
Yeah, and I'd say don't jump into it too fast, Kathy. Like Ed said, enjoy just starting life, because once it gets busy, it doesn't stop.
Damon, West Coast Gold Prospecting, good to see you.
I'm Jelly. Dano, how'd you get one of those?
Seen Ed this weekend.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I got one for you, 2 sisters.
I'll just wait for you to get that out of edit again.
Flipping editing, I tell you.
Speaking of that, did you guys get some mail from me? I sent you guys all 3 letters with some stickers.
Yes, I got them.
Okay.
I got it.
Okay.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
No problem.
Now I have more because Jason already sent me some. I believe it was a Jason the Mason, or I mean a Squatch sticker. Wasn't it a magnetic Squatch sticker?
Squatch and 508 magnets, I believe.
Yeah, 508 magnets too.
Yeah. Did I say somebody say hi? Oh, yep, Mrs. JP is here. What's going on, girl? Mrs. JP and the Bulldogs.
Oh, that's cute.
And JP's back now. There they are. There they are. 508. Yeah, I just got some of those myself. But we're twinsies. Well, guys, how was your weekend? How was Gold Rush?
Gold Rush was busy, fun. Late nights around a blazing white man fire. Dano and Keen Prospector bent up my... No, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It still fit in its case after we were done with it. But we had some good times around the fire at camp.
Did you guys do any panning?
No, not one bit.
Just a whole bunch of chit-chatting?
Only one who did any prospecting whatsoever was Chris, Keen Prospector.
He doesn't joke around with it, man.
He's still young and driving at it. We all used to be that way at one time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, whenever you first get bit by the gold bug and you're young, oh yeah, put a lot of sweat into it, a lot of nozzle time. But we were there to have a booth and to promote Take a Vet Prospecting Project and to sell some stuff. And I wish I could have unloaded some of my projects from in the shed with Ed though, but I didn't.
No luck. Sorry to hear it.
Oh, I did unload some stuff. Gave all that money to the other half, or my accountant.
You know, accountants are known to embezzle. You better watch it.
Blazing web fire. Who was burned? Well, none of us got burned. Hey, Jack, how you doing, Mr. Tucker? Good to see you. Dennis Hendrick. No, just a nice fire. You know, we don't drink a lot around our fire, so we weren't jumping through it. Lord of the Flies came up a couple of times, so it was a nice big fire a couple of times. You know, one of those fires where
Oh,
you
yes.
sit way back and it goes down and you get closer and closer. Then they throw in more wood and you scoot back.
Bear casts start burning, so you got to scoot back.
I saw a video where somebody, they called it a fireball or something, and somebody tossed some,
Sawdust.
some sort of powder on it that made it.
That was really fine sawdust. That was Aaron Yoder pouring it into a fire.
I meant to bring this with me, but I forgot it.
Funky Flames. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like copper and fire. Makes pretty colors and stuff.
It's cool.
But it was a good time, as always, you know. It's kind of like if Thomas was there, he'd be dredging or hanging out with Indiana Pay Dirt Company or prospectinggear.com. I don't know if did Jeffrey have a Indiana Prospectors booth along with his store and stuff too? I don't know. Hey, Lester. Yeah, Indian, we had White Man's Fire, like I said, and freeze to death. Yeah, you got that right, Patrick. I don't remember seeing it, Thomas, but he did have his prospecting gear store there. We already have a question from our Down Under Honey, Nikki. What's the coolest thing they have found magnet fishing?
Easy.
Yeah, definitely. So mine would have to be the I found an anchor. It was like late 1700s, early 1800s. It was about 5 feet tall, 50 pounds. It was pretty neat. I actually took it home and I put it in a kiddie pool for like 3 months until I got direction on what to do with it. And the Virginia Historical Society came and took it. So I've turned it over to them, and it's actually gonna have to go to a hydrolysis lab for like 2 years, and then hopefully it'll be in a museum locally.
Oh, cool.
Rumor has it that they claim that they're going to put them in museums, but then they just put them down in a shed and nobody ever sees them again.
In storage, yeah, or they go somewhere random. Like he was telling me a story about another anchor that somehow wound up in front of an elementary school in Florida. He was like, the kids love to look at it, but I was like, it's kind of. I hope it gets restored, and I hope I get to see it someday, and maybe get a big Tidewater magnet throwers plaque on it.
I hope so too, man. Just don't give up on it. Keep following through with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bug them until they're sick of you.
I think it's like the Virginia Historical Resource Department of Historical Resources. Yeah. They're like brand new. It's kind of weird. It was like this thing that got defunded, and then it recently just like came to be again. And we don't have a relic lab here in Virginia, so they have to like outsource it. And they said it's going to cost like $2,600 or something to send this thing off and have it chill in a tank for 2 years. And so they came and took it. And I was honestly for a little bit, like, I guess they asked a couple places and they didn't want it or didn't have the room. And it was looking like they weren't going to be able to take it. And I was planning on making like a kiddie pool size electrolysis tank. And I was going to do it myself and make a video series about it. But that ship has sailed.
Somebody came and took it from you.
Yeah, that was no fun. It was funny though, like all my buddies were like, did you get any money, or like did they give you anything, or like there was no paperwork, nothing formal, just like, I guess in the state of Virginia there's a law that if it's more than 50 years old, it's the property of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and you have to have a permit to take it out of the water or out of the land. So technically when I found that anchor, I should have lowered it right back where I found it and then called them. And the guy at first was trying to get me to go put it back where I found it. And I know there's plenty of people that magnafish that spot. And I was like, it's only a matter of time before somebody else finds it. I'm not.
Also, by that point, we had already been on the news twice.
Yeah.
And I knew exactly
Yeah.
where it was.
Yeah.
Like spot on. So, yeah.
So we.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I would have called anybody. I might have just.
About as bad as New York, you know, if all the free gold in New York State belongs to the state.
Wow.
So if you find it and some DNR officers like have any luck, oh no,
Yeah, there's no gold in New York.
I prospect, catch and release, sir.
Yeah. That's where like they were trying to play hardball with us, I feel like, and they kept threatening that you need a permit, you need a permit. So I don't know if I fought them, if they would have taken it a step further and tried to find me or whatever. Or also I had in the back of my mind, like South Carolina, they made magnet fishing illegal, and it was archaeologists like this guy
Yep.
that you get on their bad side or you fish a historical site, whether it's like labeled or not. All it takes is one guy that doesn't like magnet fishing and your state can be joined South Carolina. So I was like, I'm going to be nice to this guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Honestly,
It takes a little bit of legislation, but
Yeah.
yeah,
it's
definitely.
possible. They'll do it.
And that's,
Oh,
that's the double-edged sword of YouTube as well. Like Rose was saying, when you find something like that, you're kind of forced with, do we keep this to ourselves and have our moment and have our find? And, or, you know, because once you put it on the internet, that's it.
You know, the Vixens, we put it on the internet, and if we can't identify a serial number, I mean, if it's not a fresh find, we do not call anybody. Let them come and get us. They don't care.
Right. They got
Now,
too much of their stuff going on.
Right. Historical finds versus potential murder weapons. You know, it's two different things, because there's people who are looking for those historical finds, and they will come get you. They will. I could see why I would have turned it in as well.
Yeah.
But I would have tried to take it and then wait till somebody contacted me first, and I'm like, oh, what permit? You needed a permit?
Well, the thing where I kind of shot myself in the foot was, so this archaeologist found, like a couple 100 feet away from where we found this anchor, they found these things called the ghost ships in the Ghost Fleet. And it's a bunch of wooden ships from the same time period that are washed up. And during low tide, you can see them. And they went, like, it was a huge thing 2 years ago, huge news story. They went and documented it and dived it, did all the fun archaeologist stuff. So I reached out to this guy just based on that article, like, hey, I think I found something that might be related to your site. Well, it just so happens that's the guy that Virginia hired to be the head of the Virginia Department of Historical Resources. So yeah, there was no way out once I was like, hey, look at this anchor I found.
Busted.
Told
You're
on
so
myself.
excited in the moment. You want to share that find with people. That's a bummer, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Never find gold in New York. And
Yeah.
if you find something really of historical value, play like you didn't.
You're right.
Oh, look
I
at this.
never
this.
found that Spanish treasure.
Right. What Spanish treasure?
I heard of them.
This anchor isn't old. This probably just came off a boat.
And I'm sorry, that was Virginia, right?
Yes.
Wonder how Matt Howell gets away with saving all that Civil War stuff then. Or is it just out of waters? It doesn't matter if you dig it out of a field, or is it just from the waters?
I think that law goes for the water, but I'm sure there's something, I'm sure there's a blanket, something that covers if you find something on your property too, you're supposed to call. But I mean,
Illinois has some uptype laws about if you find stuff, you're supposed to turn it in. You're supposed to report it. It's not about gold, about antique treasure or vintage treasure.
Well, Illinois' gold prospecting rules and regs are pretty beep up also.
Yeah, and that's the thing you need to be aware of what those regulations are. That can help you in the long run too, if you think about it. Had you been aware of the regulations on that, you may have gone and, well, that's really cool. They found that, but I'm not going to talk to them about this.
I won't call them about that, and I won't put that find in my video, and it will go into my collection. And
that was the other thing too. Like I wanted to make a video. I had an agreement with the guy to make a video when he showed up, and I was gonna like video us talking about the laws and, hey, if somebody else finds something like this in Virginia, what should they do? What's the proper way to go about it? And then they showed up and they're like, nope, you can't film us. So I was like, well, I wanted to get the word out because just like me, people have no idea. You know, if somebody else found this thing, it could be a lawn ornament. That's mainly what people do with anchors like that, is they put them on display in their yard.
And it's very possible. I mean, because we're right here at like Jamestown and
yeah, this is the birthplace of America pretty much.
Yeah, so
we're 45 minutes away from Jamestown and Williamsburg, and that's like relic heaven.
That's a shame too. You really could have recorded them anyways.
If it was on your own property or public property, you could.
Yeah, it was our backyard. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you say tough. You know, private property, we're the owners, you're being recorded. If you don't like it, leave the relic here and bye-bye.
Yeah, right.
It just sucks how the government does that kind of stuff, you know, and academia, you know, they didn't find it, so they can't exploit it, so they want you to put it back where you found it so it could
exploit it,
rot away.
Their whole game, like the email he sent me was, I guess their whole game, like if you take something like that out of water and just like a relic and you just let it be, it might last, I don't know, 50 years. It's going to crumble away. It's going to deteriorate. Their thing, like his email was like, we need to properly restore it so it can last for centuries to come. Their whole thing is, it's not yours, it's everyone's. It's everyone's to look at, it's everyone's to enjoy, and we want this thing for centuries. And like their whole game is leave it where it lies, don't disturb it, observe it.
That's kind of
it's like treasure hunters with maritime treasure hunters. There's maritime salvage rights. You know, you find it, you keep it, but once it's something they want or valuable or something, then it's the state or the country or the insurance companies, and then it's thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and hours in court battles. It's one American stands for freedom. Okay. I have an old punk rock song going in my mind right now when I bring that up.
So, Katie.
Yes.
At the very beginning of the show, Ed was talking about throwing on that S.
Yes.
I have to ask, you know, Jacob obviously was doing some fishing first, and then he got you a little magnet. Did you plan on loving magnet fishing as much as you obviously do now?
Definitely not. The first time I went, I was like, no, I'm just gonna sit in the car. I'll like watch you. I'll just play on my phone, whatever, read a book. I don't know. And then I think, what did I even find the first time? I don't know. I found a few like pretty good things. I was kind of like, whoa.
Found a crowbar.
Yeah. Some bigger things. I could feel like when the magnet clicks or something, I was like, oh, wow, that's something. So
that was a little Centurion.
Yeah. And then when we went to Florida, I found that little anchor, and that was pretty much it for me.
You're hooked. Isn't it funny how
yeah,
right, you're watching him do it and you're like, oh, that's all right, and just like you said, you feel that magnet click the first time and you're like, oh, this is fun. This is cool.
Right.
I was gonna ask, so you said it was a Centurion, so what, like a 500-pound pull?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. And now you're using a Kratos, right?
Yeah. 2400.
Yeah. So that was the funny thing. My bread and butter was my Brute 1400 single side, and I let her start using that as well, and she liked that. Or like it was kind of, she would get mad if you see some of our earlier videos. She would have her little Centurion and she couldn't get it up, and then I go throw my magnet right in the same spot and pull it up. She's like, "Hey, that's mine," and it became this whole thing. And now, and like she claims that she was found the anchor first. Like her magnet was clicking on it and coming off it.
My magnet was stuck for like a few hours where the exact spot that the anchor was. So I'm like, that's my anchor.
And there was a couple things in that same spot that, like, I found a huge scaffolding, like brace, and there's multiple things we pulled out of there that are 50, 60 pounds, and we were playing with for a couple hours. And there's still 3 or 4 things in there that even my Titan 360 gets on, and it won't move.
Well,
So
I say, yeah, if the 360 won't pull it, don't bother with it, man.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I started, I saw your guys' videos. I was seeing Neon Raven's videos, and I was seeing like Scuba Sonia and all these people using these Magnetar 360s, and I was like, I need a 360.
Yep.
And just watching you guys, like, you're taking fines off the magnet and sucking it right back to the magnet.
Yeah, the
literally snatching things out of your hands.
Smashing
and
hands.
You know? Yeah, smashing hands. And, oh yeah, and I was looking at the price and I was like, man, that's a lot of money to get it over here.
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, Kratos Magnetics dropped the first US 360, and it was a lot more affordable than some of the overseas ones, and I was like, I'm ordering it right now.
And then I used his twice, and I was like, now I need one because
you want it.
I can never use another magnet again.
Yep, it is. So every once in a while, I get my old Brute 1,200 pound out, like if we're fishing with somebody, and I love it. I call him Brutus. I love that magnet. It did me good for a very long time. But when I'm fishing with it and I'm watching it turn back onto its side and not drag appropriately, I'm like, I need my 360 back right now, right now.
And she would pout. So we had a Rogue 1200 too, so she was throwing that, and then I would have to edit a whole bunch of stuff out because she's like, this magnet sucks, it's not working, I can't find anything, this is stupid. And she would literally sit there like Indian cross applesauce on the dock playing on her phone.
I'm like, I'm done
until I'm like, here's your turn. Here's your turn.
You want the big boy magnet too.
Yeah.
I think it's important to voice opinions about magnets. If you think it sucks, tell them you think it sucks. People are going to listen to you and buy magnets off of what you have to say. So don't be afraid to be negative.
Right. And yeah, they're just such a game changer. And honestly, like everyone has one now. We were the first people to make a video with the Kratos Titan 360 and do an unboxing and all that. Now, I'd say there's at least 15 or 20 channels with one now.
Yep.
They had like a first run of 50 and they sold out in 2 days.
Yeah.
And then it was about 2 months before they were able to get more back in. And then those went. And now you're going to see, Snorkel Pirate just got his Kratos today. Daddy and Daughter Plus Water's got a Kratos. Magnetic Squatch is going to get a Kratos. Like everyone hopped on the Kratos train.
The Team Kratos over there.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll probably check them out ourselves. We like to try all the magnets. We want to tell everybody about the magnets. I'm not scared about brands. I want to try them all.
Oh yeah.
They're awesome, and they're actually coming out with very shortly it's called the Kraken. It's going to be a 3,800 pound clamp magnet, and that's the strongest clamp magnet in the world.
Oh wow.
That's going to be crazy.
You ever get tired of swinging those big heavy magnets, man? Like I like the 360s, but I like smaller 360s. So, I don't need to swing a 15-pound magnet.
So here's the thing that's beautiful about the Kratos 360s, the Titan is only 4.6 pounds, 4.7 pounds.
Shut the front door.
3,800, and her 2,400 360 is 2.56 pounds.
You could throw like a baseball.
No kidding.
That big heavy anchor magnet that Angela throws probably what did her shoulder in.
Right, yeah. Right. I tell her that all the time. She never listens to me. She's chucking a magnet that weighs 10 pounds. It's going to hurt your body when you do it 100 times in a video.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. I did not know they were that light, man. I think you may have just sold me. I think I might email them tonight.
Yeah,
they're very light. The only thing I will say about 360s, and I'm sure you'll agree, the 360s are still very new in the magnet world, and they aren't perfected yet. All the companies are still tweaking covers and bolt setups and eye bolts, and the 360s they're brittle. They're not as protected as the single and double-sided magnets we're used to. They're like encased in that heavy steel. It's literally just a little thin baby cover.
Yep.
And if you throw that thing off a bridge into 3 or 4 feet of water that's just rocks, you can shatter your 360. You know, some people get mad when they break their 360 easily, but when you have a magnet that big, they're brittle.
Both of our magnetars are cracked up. We did it very quickly. It comes with the territory. But you know what? When we cleaned our brutes, they were also cracked up all over the place.
Yeah, and they still work decent for a while once they're cracked. And the one difference with Kratos, they're using aluminum covers, and they ding up and bend pretty easily. I don't know how. I think Magnetar and some of the other companies are using stainless steel. Yeah. But supposedly stainless steel takes away from the pull strength more than aluminum.
Yeah, but we're talking about minuscule amounts of pull.
Especially with 3800,
But just for pound pull, for the weight of it and for the price of it, if you live in the United States, you can't beat the Kratos 360s.
Yeah, man, I'll check it out. That's cool. Thanks for selling me on that.
Yeah. You got Squatch in here. What's up, Squatch?
Yeah, what's going on?
Hi.
I think I saw a question a while back from, let's see.
JP?
No, it was Nikki asked if we have had to call the cops for any fines.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So we've only called the cops twice, and both were for guns.
The first gun we have ever found was my gun. Yes, thank you very much. Hashtag
rifle.
Yes, sir. Hashtag Katie's Finds. That really nice rifle.
That's a hashtag our followers started because one day people started commenting Katie's Finds, and then Katie started saying it in videos, especially in those scenarios where like her magnet found it and then I pull it up. She'd be like, oh, Katie's Finds.
No, but you want to know why that was? Because he would be like, look what I found. And I'd be like, oh,
yeah. That's
a lot like the anchor, huh, Katie?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what was your experience with them? Did you guys have good experiences, bad experiences?
So for those of you who don't know, I'm a firefighter paramedic by trade. That's what my full-time job is. And I, back the blue and fully support law enforcement. So when I make my videos, I've only had to do 2 with cops, but I'm trying to paint them in the best light possible. They have all the negative press in the world right now. They don't need, people make mistakes, and the cops were nice. 3 came for the rifle, but they were kind of, the first cop that came was almost acting like we could keep it. Like he was like, I don't see your serial number. You guys might, and we're like, yeah, sweet. And then the second guy shows up and he's like, no, you can't keep it. We're taking this. Yeah. And the first cop he pointed it in the woods and tried to shoot it. And I was kind of like, I don't think that's a good idea. But yeah, so it was kind of a little shaky for the start. And then the third supervisor cop was like, I don't really know. I'm not sure. And he made some phone calls and he was like, yeah, we're taking it.
They always take it.
Then the thing that was weird to me is they took our information, but they didn't do like a report number or give us a case number or anything. And the cop was like, I'm going to give you a report number. And the supervisor was like, no, there's not going to be a report number. And they just take the gun. And then I called like last week, like, hey, I turned that gun in like 2 weeks ago. I'm just trying to figure out, like, was it linked to anything? Did you get a serial number off of it? Is there anything you can tell me about it? And they were like, oh, was this back in May? I was like, no, this was like 2 weeks ago. And he's like, well, I don't really see anything. So I'm kind of like, what happened?
They threw it right in the trash, man. That's what happened. Yeah. They threw it right. Or somebody took it home and tried to clean it up themselves.
That's all they could tell me was that they were going to destroy it. And then the one supervisor was like, take it back, spray it down, WD-40 it, see if you can find anything, and then we're going to tag it and destroy it. So then the second gun is actually even funnier. I found the video will actually be coming out this Monday. I found a little pistol, it's a little, it's a classic throwaway gang gun, little tiny pistol, and So I called the cops. They come. It was fresh. It had all the writing on it and everything. So I was like, we got to call. So the cop is looking at it and he's like, yeah, I think this is a lighter. I'm like, no, like it clearly said the caliber and like the manufacturer and everything. I'm like, this is a real gun. He's like, I think it's a lighter. He was like, I think the magazine rotted away in the magazine hole a little bit, or there was like, he saw a spring or something in the magazine hole and he was like, see that spring? This is a lighter. They make lighters to look like guns. I'm like, no. I'm like, look at the ejection port, look at all the writing. I'm like showing him pictures on Google of the gun. He's like, no, I still think it's a lighter. I guess I guess he took a gun in and it was a lighter, but he thought it was a real gun and they joked him. So now he just assumes that all the little guns are lighters.
Well, he probably got a lot of flack from his officer buddies.
Oh, yeah.
Bringing in that lighter.
So, so I'm like, I guess he took it to the range because I guess they try to take him to the range and clean him up or whatever. And so he took a lighter to the range and I guess they never let him hear the end of it. So now he assumes some guns are lighters. So I'm just like, I was like, okay, if it's a lighter, then can I keep it? And he was like, well,
right.
You gotta go to the lab.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man. And he was like, I'll call you in like 2 hours and let you know if it's real or not. And I was like,
okay, cool. All the lessons I'm learning about magnet fishing. If you find a gun and it has serial numbers, call the cops.
Yes.
If you find a weapon and it don't, you don't
Keep
call no one and you put it in your bucket.
I think it depends, Ed, on whether people want to have cops in their videos or not, and I think that's a real preference. Some people love having cops in videos. So.
There was a debate. Another Virginia, Matt Howell, he does the same job you do, Jacob. He's a first responder and stuff, and he makes a valid point. But I know it's good clickbait. You know, you're not lying on it and stuff, and that's what you find. People like finding that, like, or seeing that found, like they like seeing our gold, but there's a reason why I show very little gold anymore.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I don't. And
you face the decision. It's kind of like what we were talking about earlier. So, you know, like we're a relatively small channel, just getting started. We need big videos like that. And especially another aspect of it for what I do for a living. And Virginia is a Commonwealth. We have some weird laws here. If some reason I kept a firearm and then somehow they found out, comes back as stolen, they try to give me, I don't know, possession of a stolen firearm or whatever they do, stolen property, like I could jeopardize my real job. And I just don't want to do that. And when you are making these videos and, you know, like you said, they can be popular and you can get tons of views, sometimes it is more beneficial to turn the gun in and get all those views and get the growth from it than keeping it. But there's also another side of that as well, like reference the Kinsler Bros. The Kinsler Bros find those old shotguns and rifles and stuff, and they restore them, and they make restoration videos, and those videos are super popular, and they blew them up.
Yep.
And so it's almost like, you know, the cop video can grow you, or the restoration, look at my cool wall hanger, look what I found, and look how rusty and nasty it was, and look at it now.
Yep.
So there's so many different ways.
You could still get both, best of both worlds, you know. If you get one that's fresh, it has identifiers on it that could track it and stuff, by all means. And if the Leos don't mind, show them, use them. If it's gonna be a potential mantelpiece or whatever, go that way with it also.
And there are rare occasions in rare states where if it's not reported stolen or not used in a crime, and it, like, you can try to claim it in 90 days or 60 days.
Yeah,
there have been
I've
people who have gotten it back.
Never once seen that actually happen, and we've been told we could get them back, and then they would not let us get them back. Until I see a video seeing somebody get a gun returned, I don't believe it's true.
Well, you're in Illinois. That's probably one reason.
Yeah.
But
It's
didn't
sad.
Jeffrey have some returned to him? He had
I,
a shotgun returned to him.
I haven't seen a video.
I
There's
like
that video, believe it.
like 2, 3 years ago. I thought he had a video where they returned it or his sword. Why would he turn in a sword though? Uh,
No, we
but
be keeping the sword.
I thought he had a shotgun returned to him.
You know, if he has, I don't remember. And I've yet to see, and we've talked about it quite a bit. We've brought it up. We bring it up on our lives all the time. Because a lot of people, not a lot of people, there's always a group of people that get very frustrated when we don't turn ours in. But you know, the experiences we've had have been negative. We've had cops be particularly rude to us and say things like, why did you even call us? So
You know what's funny? So on YouTube, I only had one negative comment. On YouTube, out of like a couple, I don't know, maybe 150 comments, I had one person that was like, do you see what's going on in the US right now? He was like, I would have kept that rifle to defend my family. And I was like, you can't use a waterlogged 22 rifle. Like, it's no. And but I made a TikTok video and I got like 50,000 views on. Oh, I got eaten alive on TikTok.
yep.
Yeah.
You idiot, you dummy, you snowflake, why'd you turn that in? What's wrong with you? People are ruthless on TikTok.
Yeah, they're brutal. We got a lot of hate over that. I don't know if you saw the Craig Jorgensen. It was, you know, from the 1890s. Everybody was like, why did you turn that in? And the answer was, we didn't know what it was. We didn't know what it was when we called them. We knew it was big and heavy, and we called. Lesson learned.
I wish they would make some type of system where, let's say it has a serial number, or even if it doesn't, and they can't trace it to anything, even if it's non-working, they should be able to issue it back out to you and either make a serial number for it or record the one that's on it. And then this is Jacob Parr's gun. This is Rose's gun.
Yeah.
And link it to you. And if you're, you know, a law-abiding citizen, you're not a felon, here's the gun that you found. You know, it's linked to you now, and anything that happens past that is on you.
I think that's a fit. Let's get it started. It's
Yeah.
to make it happen.
And if it's absolutely useless to either law enforcement or to be fired ever again, you know, why destroy it when it could make a good trophy room piece?
That's
right.
Why would you do a serial number or any kind of link to anybody? Because it's just a wall hanger. It's not a weapon anymore.
Right.
Now there is a public website where you can search the serial number yourself first.
I saw that the other day. We're definitely gonna have to add that on our phone.
Yeah. So if
next
you're,
time.
you know, if you're, and like you said, as you grow your channel, you want that content. We totally understand that. There may come a point where you find something old enough that you want that to go on your wall. And if you do, if you can even find the serial number, then you can check that website first.
And we've talked about this too. I think, I'm sure you guys have noticed in the treasure hunting community, there's an influx of these clickbait videos and cop videos. And I think people are going to start getting numb to these videos, and they're not.
There's a lot that already are. I have some friends that do it.
They're not going to do that. Like, they're not, at some point, they're going to lose popularity and not do good anymore. So we might come to a point where it's not even, you know, it's more just beneficial just to keep it. And I've always thought too, like you said, if you don't see a serial number, take it home, clean it up. There's nothing wrong with finding a serial number after the fact and then calling.
That's right.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's right.
Put in electrolysis and let it do its thing and go from there.
Yep.
Because there's somewhere that's like under the butt plate, or you might have to take a thing or two off, or, you know, it might be a couple Phillips head screws to see where the serial number is, or so you never know.
Yeah, I'm with you. But as you go, you know, I get it. I get that if you want it right now, go ahead and go for it, man. And that's another thing is, as long as you're not clickbaiting, which you're not, you guys, your channel isn't, you know, then I think everything's going to be fine. But when you start, I'm just, you know what, I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, our friend Ohio Relic Hunter has a coin. Actually, it's illegal to own a firearm with no serial numbers here. Yes, but if it's absolutely worthless besides a wall hanger, you know, I don't care. I'm gonna put it up on my wall.
I'm with you. Yeah, Bill,
I
the one we're restoring right now will never click again. You know, we're gonna have to put in some putty and some holes in the barrel. Like it's absolutely worthless. It's a
mhm.
paperweight is what it is. But I'm keeping it. I don't care. It's mine.
I agree with Snorkel Pirate has a great point. I call him Snorkel Pilot sometimes. That's a little inside joke, and sometimes it just comes out. But he has a great point that when it's so far gone and just a rusty paperweight, you're wasting valuable time of the cops that come out
Yes,
to you.
yes.
Tax dollars.
They could be helping somebody or on another call, or they don't want to be
An actual
there.
emergency.
Yeah, actual somebody that needs help versus you sitting there trying to make thumbnails and footage and for something that doesn't need to be turned in.
That's Matt did like a public service announcement about that, and he showed a beat up old musket, right? Or a shotgun. I don't think he could even tell what it was actually, but he's like, if it looks like this, don't waste their time. They have
Mhm.
real
Yeah.
crimes to deal with, and
Especially they're so thinly staffed right now. And another pet peeve of mine that don't ever call 911. Always look up the non-emergency number
Yeah.
because there are some channels out there that have just dialed up 911 and then the dispatcher gets an attitude with them when
oh
they
yeah,
hear you
right
calling
off
them
the
out,
bat.
and then they get an attitude back and it's like just
911,
non-emergency.
what's your emergency? Oh man, I was at magnet fishing
Yep.
and I found a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
You call me.
I can understand that, you know.
Not an
We've
emergency.
had officers literally say, please don't call us for knives. Please don't call us for, please don't call us. They've said that. Don't
Right.
call us. So we're gonna listen. I don't want to get cops mad at me. This is the area I live in. I don't want them picking on me. I don't want them unhappy with me. I want to be able to call them if there's an emergency and have them help me and not ignore me.
Ohio Relic Hunter asked, have we ever magnet fished from a boat? So I have magnet fished from a kayak twice and not had good result. And I felt like it was more of a pain and dangerous than it was worth. And so that's been our experience, I guess, magnet fishing from a boat. I guess going in the future, maybe we'd think about a tandem kayak or maybe a larger John boat. But I feel like a boat is a good resource when you start running out of spots from land. And you can go, I feel like a boat's a double-edged sword because you can access some places. Let's say there's places that you're not allowed to stand on the shore. You can usually access it by boat. But I right now, I feel like we don't really magnet fish from a boat right now.
I don't have a need yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like, I mean, and that's a double-edged sword too. So the trick I feel like for finding magnet fishing spots is you want high traffic areas. A lot of times pedestrian traffic and vehicle traffic. And a lot of the places that you go to with a boat are kind of off the beaten path.
Unless you could get under a bridge with a boat, whereas
That
like we
too.
can't really get to certain like crevices under bridges from standing off the bridge or off the side of a bridge.
Or there are bridges that have huge, like
Pipes.
8-inch pipes on each side.
Yeah.
Or the whole bridge is metal. It might just be that juicy bridge that not worth throwing a magnet off. But if you could get down there with a boat, then absolutely.
Yeah.
But the other side of it too is you find something super heavy or your magnet gets stuck. That's where if you're on a boat and you're pulling something, your magnet comes off and you don't want to fall in or flip your boat or, all these boats have weight limits and stuff. And then if you're finding a couple 100 pounds of scrap or you find something big, it can be awkward getting it back.
JP Lonsonmore asked a little bit earlier, have you gotten that 360 stuck to like an I-beam yet? Like, have you had to let any magnets go?
So I have not lost the magnet yet. Let me knock on something. So I probably get my 360 stuck at least once an outing. I'm sure you guys do too,
Mhm.
on something. Because there's something in the water that's huge. There's some bridge component you didn't realize is metal. There's a railing, there's a guardrail,
Mhm.
there's a stump, a tree, something. Every time, no matter what. So always have your come along, always have your pry bar. Don't leave the house without them. My 360, I've gotten it stuck on a couple undersides of bridges, and I've been lucky enough to either reach it with a pry bar or if the easiest thing, if you can get 180 degrees opposite from it and give it a sharp yank, and always comes off usually.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not an option, but most of the places I go, I'll trek through the woods and get opposite of it, or I usually try to find a way.
You pulled your come along just the other day.
Yeah, I had to use my come along the other day for the first time in a while.
Yep. We'll do
Um,
whatever it takes not to lose the money of that magnet that you spent, you know?
so
Yeah.
it's actually funny. The anchor video, she was down the bridge and she's like, my magnet keeps getting on something and I can't pull it up. So I'm all excited. And I'm like, haha, I'm going to get it. So I go running over there and I throw my magnet off the bridge and I didn't tie it to anything.
Oh.
So, and up until this point, I had usually been tying my magnet to my belt loop on my pants. Well, this day I was wearing like basketball shorts, no belt loops. So slipped my mind, throw it. My whole Brute 1400 rope, everything gone. So then I take Katie's Rogue 1200 and I'm like, maybe I can find either the carabiner or the magnet with the magnet. So I throw that and it gets stuck in the rocks.
That's how it works. That's how it goes, man.
I went swimming. I literally I had a snorkel and some goggles in the truck. I literally went swimming. I was able to get opposite of the Rogue in the water and pull that out. And then luckily the water was only like 8 feet deep. And I literally for about 20 minutes just kept diving down and feeling my hand on the bottom until I found that rope. And I got both of them back.
I would never, ever, ever dive for a magnet, man.
Do you want to hear something?
Yeah,
that
her
we found-
friends were messing with us. I don't know if this is true or not, but they were like, did you know there was like a sewage leak in the same area that you were swimming in? And I was like, you guys are just trying to mess with me.
Careful, those aren't always chocolate bars floating down
Right.
rivers.
And today I actually magnet fished a spot this morning when I got off work, and there was jellyfish everywhere.
Wow.
And I was just thinking to myself, man, if you like went swimming for your magnet and didn't know any better, get lit up by jellyfish.
You'd be swimming with the fishies, see?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good idea to swim for your magnet, but I gotta tell you, you know, that $200 360 magnet, I'm going swimming.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
That's last resort though, last resort.
Is that the only time you've swam for a magnet?
Yes.
That's
And
not
luckily
bad.
we're in Virginia. We don't have too many. Our biggest danger, I guess, would be other boats, or we don't. I guess we have water moccasins, but not.
No bull sharks coming up the.
Probably not.
Not where we
not where we
go.
go.
Yeah.
We're in a lot of like small tidal creeks and stuff. But you know, like I was joking with Magnetic Squatch. He lost his dock buster, and I was like, if I was there, I would have jumped in. And he was like, well, there's big snakes and gators here. And when that brings up another thing, we went to Florida and we magnet fished with Daddy and Daughter Plus Water and Magnetic Squatch, and it was awesome. We had a great time.
That's
We actually
cool.
saw an alligator while we were magnet fishing,
That's so cool.
and I actually found, I think it was 8 foreign coins. I think
He asked.
somebody dumped their coin collection off the bridge.
Yep.
And I was able to find 8, and his son found a couple too prior to that.
Awesome.
But I think there's like a peso, there's 2 Canadian coins, there's a British coin, there's like a German Finnick, and I think there's 2 coins from the Netherlands. And I got them on my little cork board over here.
Those are some keepers. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. I joke that I've found more coins magnet fishing than I have metal detecting.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We, in our whole entirety of fishing, have only found one coin. It was a Spanish coin. It's only happened one time ever, and it was just a coin. That's it.
Yeah, it's hard in the US.
Yes, it is. So, do you guys have any bucket list items you're looking? You know, is there something you're always looking for when you're fishing that you want? You know, that big ticket item for you guys, and that's for both of you.
I'm just trying to top him at all times. So that's my goal always. Just top whatever Jacob's pulling up. I want it to be better. So yes and no.
I think mine was the gun. And honestly, the crazy thing, like finding the anchor before the gun, and honestly, her finding the first gun, I was more excited than I ever been when I pulled the anchor up. And that was the cool thing about that video is she was filming me like third person, and that was 100% raw, like as it happened, my real reaction. And her gun, I was more excited for her when she found that gun than when I found my gun. And I guess just because it was the first one, and it was awesome. But I'm not really sure. I guess I found a safe, the anchor. We both found a gun now.
Any money in the safe?
No, unfortunately not. There was a whole bunch of ripped up bank deposit bags though.
Oh.
Hey, listen, guys, safes are always empty. Come on now.
Yeah,
Safes
I know.
are always empty.
They get the stuff out of them.
And then they dump it.
I don't know. When I worked at a recycling center transfer station, someone threw a safe in the dumpster and we pulled it out. Once we cracked it open, kind of like same tactic Angela did at her dad's. We found cash, coins, silver.
Wow.
Little, I shouldn't say it on air, but it goes up your nose.
Sugar.
Full candy.
Yeah. But yeah, it was kind of surprised. They must have forgot the combination or something, or cleaning out a house, or.
That's what we thought with ours, because it didn't appear to be broken at all. But we found out it was a commercial cash drop safe, like a restaurant, where it has a rolling thing on top. You put the money in, and you roll it. It drops in the bottom. You can't get to it anymore, and then it only opens electronically when the cash truck or whatever comes. Well, they got it out of the restaurant, and I guess they held it upside down and kept rolling that wheel until all the money came out.
Yep.
And it was funny. We cut it open, and we found this thing that I didn't know what it was. It was a drill bit and like 3 bolts, and that was the kit to mount the safe to the floor. And they never mounted it, so that's how they stole it.
Yeah. Lesson learned, guys. Lesson learned. Mount that to the floor. Come on.
Yeah. Bolt it down.
The one unopened safe we had was a deposit safe where they drop into it as well, and it's bolted to the floor, and there's just a single hole in it. And those guys must have literally just shook and grabbed and shook and grabbed and pulled everything out. It was empty, and it was unopened, but it was empty, and it was all through a slot, just this tiny little slot. They got it out. They're gonna get the money out. They stole the safe. They're gonna get the money out.
It seems like a lot of trouble to go to. I don't know that I have that in me.
Right.
Yeah.
We're probably not that much money, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So how about bucket list locations? Do you guys want to go anywhere? Do you want to meet up with anybody? You got to do the Magnetic Squatch and Daddy Daughter plus Water. That's a pretty cool meetup. But where else would you guys like to go?
Flashback.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. So Snorkel Pirate and I have been talking about getting together and coming to Flash Bash and maybe getting with you guys and heading up, a little magnet fishing thing, and that would be fun. And I've been trying to get up with Aaron for a while. We're about 6 hours away from each other. We've played with the idea of meeting 3 hours away in a town and getting some magnet fishing in, and I'm sure we'll make that happen. But definitely, we're really interested in Flash Bash. Obviously, Europe. I think that's on every magnet fisher's list. Europe is just off the charts.
Yeah.
Those old canals, the River Thames. We would love to get over to Europe and collab, find one of those Europe channels and say, hey, we're coming over. Can we come borrow some magnets and make a video with you? And
I feel like they'd be so welcoming too.
Yes.
I do. I feel like they would absolutely welcome you in.
They
They're
love
a big community.
They love collabs over there.
Yeah.
They're all about collabs. And, obviously it would be impossible to fly overseas with a magnet. I wouldn't even want to try it.
Yeah.
And I guess, once all this stuff calms down, we would definitely like to go over there. We got passports not too long ago, so we're definitely itching to get overseas.
What about Katie? Do you have any specific spots?
No, I think that pretty much. I'm along for the ride.
Yeah, that's cool. You're a road
She
dog.
she would like Europe. She
I
likes
would.
pasta.
Yeah, right. Let's go to Italy. Yeah, no, I'm along for the ride. I'm here to do whatever and with whoever.
That's the
wants.
funny thing. So May, when we met up with Squatch and Daddy and Daughter Plus Water, that was our 4th anniversary. And that was our anniversary trip to Florida. And it kind of went from being an anniversary trip to being about magnet fishing.
Yeah,
So-
I think that's sweet. As long as you guys both wanted it, I think that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never magnet fished for that many hours consecutively. You know?
she wasn't all about the magnet fishing at that point. That was only her 2nd or 3rd time going, and it was a long day. We magnet fished. It was our last day of our trip. We magnet fished from like 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon. And normally when we fish, it's 2, 3, 4 hours at most. And that was 8 to 5 marathon, 3 bridges, and then it's 5 o'clock. We get in the car and we drove straight home from Jacksonville, Florida, which was like 9 hours. And we were planning on getting a hotel, but we just started getting 3-4 hours away from home and just kept trucking. And
you could feel it. You could feel
we
your
were-
own bed.
Took a bird bath in
Yeah,
a,
we were
a
all-
gas station bathroom.
we were all muddy, and we like went in a gas station and took a bird bath and changed clothes, and it was a long day. And we were sunburnt, so sunburnt.
Mm-hmm. I know that Florida sun is different.
It hits different. That's right. It hits different.
is. Yes.
And as far as the I guess for the bucket list find, I remember I'd love to find something big like a motorcycle or a moped. I guess that would be my bucket list. Something, maybe find something big like that they could trace back to being stolen.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It is, you get stuck, you think you're stuck, then you pull a little bit and you pull, and then you just see a tip of it come out and you're like, that's a motorcycle. There's a motorcycle in there.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the random finds are the best. They're better than the guns. The random finds and the really old stuff are the best.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's just,
How about creepy? What about the bad stuff? You guys got any weird bad stuff?
so I do have one that I have to keep a secret. It's going to
Okay.
be a video soon.
Okay.
And I love this because I'm sure we've all seen the clickbait of like most disturbing magnet fishing find ever.
Right.
We're pulling that card.
We found something that was actually disturbing.
Oh, that's exciting.
And it's acceptable to use that title, and we're very excited. It was a very weird find.
We were shocked.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
I like it. I like you said, that natural, real shock where you like it.
Uh-huh.
It's not clickbait. It's the best.
yeah. And I found
It's not well,
I found this.
it's just funny.
That's
like,
mildly disturbing.
yeah.
right.
Chinese male enhancement product.
That looks brand new, man.
I know. Yeah, that's just like why random.
Found a weed whacker the other day.
That's weird.
That is right. That's weird.
Why?
The motor was missing.
Weird
but it was
weed
just a whole
whacker.
weird weed whacker. Like,
Yep.
okay.
William. I was kind of thinking the same. Now, have you had any finds like the vixens our friends have with
No, not yet. That was the closest.
That's what I was aiming at. It'll come, guys. It will come.
That was the closest.
I don't know, only magnet fishers I've ever found as many pleasure toys as you two.
So weird. It's weird, guys. It's like, you got the
Oh my
channels that are pulling up gun after gun after gun. Well, we get those female pleasure wands. That's what we get.
That's funny. And that's I guess what we want to do. We want to normalize not finding female
I was
pleasure
gonna say
wands.
we want to find female pleasure wands. Okay, that's what we want.
Yeah.
Top bucket list find.
That's Katie's top bucket list find.
No.
We want to normalize normal magnet fishing, like what you normally find, what a normal outing is. And I think it's like Ed had a great point. You guys can't show gold on every single video. That's not real life.
That's right.
And neither is pulling a gun every single time you go out,
That's
calling
right.
the cops every single time you go out.
Yep.
You're
Oh,
gonna
it
find your
isn't because we don't find gold every time we're out.
Well, that too. Yeah,
It's-
yeah, the other stuff.
It's think that the best point that you made is that people are going to get sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to get burned on it, which really sucks because, like you said, as your channel is growing, what a great opportunity some of these smaller channels have to really explode into the magnet fishing channel. And it's a little sad that it's something that's going to die out, and I think it's going to die out pretty quick. So
Right. And yeah, it's just, unfortunately for the smaller accounts, people see the normal videos and like, these are boring. I want to see guns. I want to see crazy stuff, but it just doesn't happen like that every time.
I think they inevitably burn out, just like me. So when I first started, I was watching scuba diving videos, and I just saw this weird random, I'm like, what's magnet fishing? And I clicked on it, and it was a gun video, and I'm like, how many guns are they pulling out? And I went in this rabbit hole of who's got guns and where are these guns coming from and do they find drugs? And that lasted for about 2 weeks, and then I was like, I never want to see another gun again. I don't care about the guns. I want to know about historic finds. I want to know what kind of garbage, how dirty are the waters in your area versus the waters in our area. So it did progress into something else. And I think you may not get everybody. I think there are the people that just want to see the cops be Karens or whatever you want.
Yep.
But I think inevitably, and our strongest following are people that like watching us pull up garbage.
That's right. And I think
random weird garbage.
And I think people love the relationship that they see with you guys. You have two best friends, your banter, your adventures, your finds. It's awesome. People see us, a couple out there together, our adventures, our banter, and it's kind of the same thing. And the cool thing about it is, I'm sure it's the same with you guys. We're just ourselves, and we're just the cameras rolling. And we're not trying to be anybody. We're not trying to make jokes just for that what we say is how we are around each other all the time. And it's just
your guys' banter.
It's just natural, and we like it a lot. And another thing, we like you talking about the trash. Another thing we really pride ourselves on, everything that we film goes in the back of my truck and it goes to the scrapyard. Everything. And I film my scrap runs, and we really try to, truly make every place better than we found it and take care of all of our scrap. And that's one thing we really enjoy.
You guys, I think that we're both lucky, like you said, for being able to fish with somebody else, having your friend, your best friend, your partner with you, however you want to look at it. And I do think inevitably that's what magnet fishing is going to turn into, is watching us clean up the environment, watching the trash that comes out of it, and then even like you said, those scrap runs. People are curious to know, can you get a couple bucks for that metal? And are you going to put it back in your gas tank? Are you going to buy another magnet with it? And
absolutely, that's my favorite thing, is showing people. I know not everyone has the means to scrap. Not everyone has a truck. Not everyone has a trailer. But if you do, or you plan, and that's something you want to work towards. I paid for my Titan back in a weekend almost. And because I'm sure with the 360, you just find everything.
Yep.
If something's there, you're gonna find it.
Those are amazing. Yeah, I'm glad you guys have them. I'm glad that they're growing in the U.S. And a lot of people did say, well, I don't want to pay for that shipping, or they're sold out. I'm glad that it's something that's accessible now, because the magnets are game changers. You can go back to bridges you were at, refish areas, and find a whole new slew of things.
You have a great point, and that is the take home point. Retrace your steps and magnet fish every place you've been to without a 360 magnet. And I don't know about you guys, the easiest thing to do is Google Maps, drop pins, and then there's a little place where you can put notes. Put the last date you were there and a little note about what you found, and then maybe give it 90 days or give it 6 months and go back and see.
Even a year if you want.
Has it refilled? Because a lot of these spots are dumping sites, and somebody might go back and dump some more stuff.
Yeah, we're learning very quickly. So it's only a handful, but we do have a handful of reoccurring dumping sites. And what we try to do is save them for when we're desperate. So we do try to make our radius bigger, get further out, try new areas. But if it's a short weekend, if you're not feeling that good, if something's going on, then you hit your dumping sites and try to make videos there.
I think Ohio Relic asked if we found any old street or advertising signs. We with the exception of just like your normal skinny rectangular, like white and yellow or black and yellow striped sign by a bridge, we haven't found any cool
We-
sign.
We found that roadwork sign with the light.
Oh yeah, like a construction barrier.
Yeah.
But as far
That's-
as like actual like branded signs or street signs, no.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Most of the signs are aluminum, so if the post isn't on it, it's gonna be hard to pull it up, right?
Yeah.
You pretty much pull from the rods, the poles. The signs, you'll slide off of them. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but you get that slide, and you could almost tell you're on them because you hit the sign and your magnet just pulls across.
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is just weird, that like the construction barrier, the little thin rails on it were metal, and then the actual like stripe part was plastic, and everything else was plastic and wood, and it was just literally like the battery box where the light was and the little rail was the only things that were magnetic.
Well, that was literally like the day I found the tire, and
Oh yeah, she
the
found a tire.
360 went right up into the inside of the tire onto the
Yep.
metal
And
part,
it
and then
grabbed
pulled
the
the whole
bead.
thing up. Yeah, it was crazy.
You're not,
And then the other-
and tires are heavy too.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so heavy.
Well,
Yep.
and somebody asked, I think it was Nikki asked if we found safes, and I have found two. And one was just on the shore, like half out of the water. And I thought it was like a microwave or a cinder block or something. And it was a safe and it had a hole in the bottom of it. And then the second one I found, it was actually under the water and I pulled it up. But that brings a good point to these safes and these tires. And a lot of the stuff, it fills with water and it becomes insanely heavier than it
Mhm.
actually is. Because water is, I think, 8 pounds a gallon.
Yeah,
you
water
get
and
some-
mud. And
Yeah,
the mud.
oh,
that's
yeah,
in
mud
there.
too.
Oh, mud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you get something with 30, 40 gallons of water in it, plus mud, you're talking, and then if it's already a 30, 40, 50 pound thing by itself,
But you pay for it. You physically pay for magnet fishing. Angel's injured her shoulder. I just recently got diagnosed with a fracture in my spine, and I guarantee you it's
oh no.
from magnet fishing. It's got to be from magnet fishing. It has to be. I work in an office. I type
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
computer for a living. It's got to be from the magnet fishing.
It's definitely physically intensive, and you can feel it in your back and your arms, and you're
arms.
sore the next day. And I keep telling my buddies, I want to go out and buy one of those smart watches that tracks your calories.
Yeah.
And I really want to start tracking and maybe even make a video about like magnet exercise and just talk about my experience with realistically how many calories you can burn, or
hmm
and because I'm thinking about it, I get a decent workout. 'cause
Clip
you're
on a
pulling-
Fitbit.
Yeah.
yeah. You're pulling everything up, and then you have to carry it from your spot to the truck. Then when I get home, I take it out of my truck and put it in my backyard. And then usually once a month or whenever Katie's tired of looking at the pile, I'll take that and put it in the truck. And then you go to the scrap yard and you got to throw it out of the truck. So you're lifting and moving that stuff 4 or 5 times.
Katie, you're lucky he takes it. We have a gigantic mound of scrap that we keep saying we're going to take. It's a mountain at this point. Like, you try to find the next spot to dump. Like,
Just start your own scrapyard.
Yeah, right. That's great. We're just gonna have people bring it to us.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
I thought you had a scrapper dude to call, Rose.
When we first started, and it was only for the area where you were in, but as our radius got out, he wasn't interested. You can't find new people everywhere we go, so we'd haul it back with us. And to be honest, we like to try to be honest. We only haul about 90% of it. Some of it's too big, and we do leave it behind. We try to be as honest as possible about it. The washers, we can't get a washer. We
Oh
can
my
barely
God.
get it up the bank. We try to take what we can, or some of the poles are so long that we can't fit it in the car. We've talked about getting a metal sawzall to try to cut it down and stuff, but right now we're currently in the process of trying to get a Treasure Vixen's mobile, like a van or a truck, which will help us haul more, but we do not take all of it. We take about 90%.
Big old flatbed with the crane on it.
Yes, you're right. So we can pull the motorcycles out ourselves.
Ah, there you go.
Someone just needs to get an electromagnet on a crane. And just
Yes,
lower it over the bridge and
yes.
take it on.
Right?
There are there are those awkward things and two big things, and normally I'm lucky enough. The stuff is so far gone, like the long pipes and stuff. Normally I can stand on it and bend it in half. But I have been thinking about getting a battery powered sawzall,
Yeah.
or even just a cheap hand saw.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make it work, but yeah, you definitely got to have the tools and the means to transport the stuff. Or I say, try to get that relationship with a scrapper. Look on Craigslist, look on Facebook Marketplace. I see tons of ads all the time of people in my local area just saying like, hey,
Yeah.
does anyone have any scrap metal? We pick up scrap metal. Get those people's phone
website
numbers and
called
text them and say,
Dippers.
hey.
Yeah, Dippers and Scrappers.
Yep,
on
that too.
Facebook. Yeah, Dippers and Scrappers, where they try to connect people in your area together to do that.
And just get 3 or 4 people on the hook, and we can, however you want to do it, start with one, or
Yep.
Say, hey, we're going magnet fishing today. This is where we're going to be.
Yep.
I'll let you know if we have anything. And if that person says no, I can, or then move on to the next guy. Or
Yep.
like when we were in Florida, we had a shopping cart and a huge pipe that none of us could take with us.
Yep.
And I took a picture of it and I posted it on Facebook Marketplace with the cross street and said, here's scrap metal, come take it.
It goes up real
And
quick.
and I try to put it on the curb. A lot of places have bulk pickup, and if the bulk pickup truck comes by, or some of these cities, you can go online and just schedule a bulk pickup and they'll come grab it.
And then there's also like one of the big things about bringing that metal back at is that we do want to cash it in eventually. We do want to see what kind of money we get back for it, but right now it just sits in a big pile until we feel like making that video.
And scrap has gone up.
Yeah.
And I know before all this stuff, it was 3, 4, 5 cents a pound. I've got 12 the other day. That's crazy.
12, how much?
12 cents a pound.
12 cents a pound. That's incredible.
And it used to be 3, 4, 5, 6 cents a pound. It fluctuates.
Yeah.
But it's doubled over the last few years.
Like gold, it all adds up.
Yeah. Well, I had one trip that was 1,500 pounds, and we got a little over $150.
That's a multiple gas tanks. You could almost take a little road trip with $150.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have plans to travel? Do any little road trips anytime soon?
Absolutely. So we are actually going to Florida in October, and we will be meeting up again with Magnetic Squatch and Daddy Nutter Plus Water. I might try to get up with Magnet Junkie. There's a couple other guys down in Florida, Swamp Rat, Tampa Bay Magnet Fishing. We're just going to kind of put it out there. Hey, we're here this weekend. Let's make something happen. I'd like to get up with, I really want to take FL Thunder Digging with Rob Magnet Fishing. He's in Tampa or Clearwater, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to put the dates out there and try to get a collab together, even if it's 3, 4, 5 channels at once. We'll hopefully all make something happen.
It's getting these bigger collabs, especially up in Michigan. We're getting more and more channels together. It looks like a lot of fun.
I have that on I want to go to Michigan too.
Yeah.
And I've been eyeballing cheap flights, and if I find the right, a cheap flight and somebody has a magnet for me to borrow, I might fly up there with a backpack for the weekend. And
there's so many kind channels out there. I'm sure they jump on the opportunity to do it.
Oh yeah, I'd love to. I mean, anywhere.
Yeah,
I'd love the magnet fish anywhere that's
water,
new.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I think we always roll anytime we're traveling, or you're looking and you're finding bridges, and I wish I had my magnet, and I would throw here and throw there. And I actually regret it now. I went to Colorado last month for a fire department training, and I dropped the ball on taking my magnet. I chickened out on trying to fly with it. I don't think that was going to be smart. That was a 360.
Yep.
And I cheaped out on mailing it, because the best way to do it, the Michigan Magnet Man has done this quite a few times. You just package your magnet well, and you USPS priority mail it to wherever you're going.
Or
so
keep the box that the 360 came in with all that styrofoam and all that box, and then try to get that in the suitcase and see if that works. I don't know. We've never
so here Well, here's the thing. So I actually looked into it pretty deep, and at the end of the day, the TSA supervisor has the right to say no to anything.
Okay.
They have the discretion to say no to anything, and the FAA says that if a magnet has more than, it's like 0.02 Gauss magnetic field at 15 feet, then they can say no. Well, they don't have a Gauss meter at the TSA checkpoint,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
they can't test it right then and there. It's just you might have a TSA agent that's like, nope, that's a big magnet, not going. And there's
Right.
other people that claim if a paper clip won't stick to the outside of what you have it in, then it's fair game.
Yep.
That there's like no such little of a magnetic field that it won't hold a paper clip to it. But you always have that risk. So when you're flying from your home airport, it's no big deal if they say no for you to go run the magnet back out to the car.
Yep.
Hopefully, if you got there early enough. But the sketchy part is when you're flying back home and
Yeah.
you're somewhere where you don't have family, maybe
Yes. Or friends or.
no friends. It was just
Yeah.
a vacation,
Yeah.
and now you're in the TSA line, and they're like, "This is not going," and then you're faced with the decision you have to abandon. You're going to lose your magnet, or I doubt you'd have enough time to.
Yeah, you won't. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to miss
Yep.
your flight and
Yep.
go mail it.
I like the mailing thing because Dano, Jesse, we've done it, like going out California, mail stuff there, mail it back.
It's the safest and it's the easiest, but it's still, you still have to coordinate with, you got to make sure you mail it ahead of time enough to where you don't beat it there.
Mhm.
And because some of these, even 2-day priority, if you go to West Coast, it could take a week.
Yeah, you gotta avoid the United States Postal Service altogether,
Yeah.
and maybe do like a UPS or a FedEx
Mhm.
to
Well,
guarantee.
look at what's been happening with them too, though. They're
Yeah.
losing.
Yep.
They've been losing stuff in magnets left and right.
Yep. And they've been using the USPS to deliver their stuff. So. Yeah.
So yeah, you pay $30 the priority ship. You pay $30 to ship a magnet to where you're going, and then it's not there when you're there, and then you can't make content, and so it's definitely hard.
Yeah.
It's the safest option is to drive, but I know that's not always an option.
Right. Angela and I will do whatever we can to drive for that exact reason. But like I said, Virginia is 18 hours. Like West Virginia is 18 hours from us. That's a trek to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Sure is.
yeah.
Well, that's where we're all the way. I'm still amazed sometimes at how big Virginia is. We are all the way on the east coast of Virginia. Like we're on the ocean.
Yep.
And there's some spots over by like Snorkel Pirate, the western side of Virginia.
Yep.
You can drive 8 or 9 hours across the state and still be in Virginia, over there by West Virginia and Tennessee.
Yep.
You can do it. If we could drive like 15 hours to New England to go prospecting for the weekend, Rose, you could do that to go magnet fish.
Oh, that's a question I have for everyone. What's the farthest you've driven to go treasure hunting?
18 hours.
15 plus hours. Now we've flown like 2,500 miles.
Right.
Wow. Yeah, ours is probably down to Florida. So that was only technically 9 to magnet fish. We'll be doing 12 when we go to Florida this next time.
Well, just being here in our state's at least 2-hour drive most places we go.
Yeah. Minimum.
Right.
I know the treasure vixens have talked about this. Once you start running out of spots and you're immediate, 30 minutes from home, you got to start commuting.
Right.
2 hours, hour each way to start finding those spots again.
We've gone 15 hours to Vermont. How long you guys or South Dakota, not South Dakota.
South Carolina, I think that was like 8 hours.
Longer than that, I thought.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear. let me break out my handy dandy map real quick. But let me see. We went to Delana. Let me see. Coker Creek first.
People still have maps. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, did you hear him unfolding it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's handy dandy map.
So Jacob, 9 hours, that's a long trip, man. You know, like you said, Florida, that's one heck of a drive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
it was probably closer to 12 hours all the way down to the Carolinas. Coker
that-
Creek is 7 hours straight through, 7 hours and 15 minutes. So with pee breaks and food breaks and stretches and yeah.
Magnet fishing's fun too with, if you have your magnets and your buckets and everything, you get that magnet fishing smell in your car, and you're gonna smell in the magnet fishing that you got that rusty metal mud smell for
We
your
take
whole
my
trip
car
home.
for road trips.
Yeah,
So
she doesn't. I actually started. So we use, if anybody needs buckets for any type of treasure hunting, I gotta recommend Firehouse Subs buckets.
Oh, right on.
They are only $3, no tax. You can buy them at any Firehouse Subs, and they're food grade buckets. So they're better quality and stronger than your standard hardware store bucket, and they come with lids.
A
And
lot of
actually-
restaurants will just give them
Give
to
them
you.
away. Yep, they have, but those aren't as fun because they're not red. They don't say Firehouse on them,
Right.
or smell like pickles.
A
That's the
great way to
funnest thing.
support another community too. What a great way to
Yeah.
support another community. For sure.
Well, that's the thing too. All the money from the buckets goes into a charity fund for public safety, so that's huge. But the thing I like about those is they come with that food safe lid with the gasket and everything. So when you do go on those trips, you can seal those buckets, so it kind of cuts down on the smell a little bit.
That's a pretty neat idea. To be honest, when we go on road trips, we ask the hotel if we can just use their dumpster, and we dump in their dumpster. Is what we typically do on road trips.
That's smart.
Yeah, so when we book the hotel, we won't book it unless they give us permission to use the dumpster. And we try not to tell them why. We just want to
Right.
make sure we have permission to use the dumpster.
That's smart. And yeah, I've
Well-
done, and I'll do that here when I find like rubber things or
Yeah.
things that aren't scrappable.
Yep.
And I normally try to pick. You can find a business where there's a dumpster
Yes.
behind it, and just look if there's no trespassing sign, no dumping sign, and it's not already overfilling.
Yep.
Do what you got to do. It's better than leaving it on the side of where you found it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's the rubber, the plastic, that garbage right there is really just, I mean, maybe even more toxic, but just as toxic as some of the other stuff you're pulling out of there. Obviously,
Have you thought about DNR offices or stations or ranger stations or like Port Authority? Because back home in Washington, when I'd go out in the mountains, I'd bring out 2-3 bags of trash, a couple of broken lawn chairs and stuff, and I'd go to the ranger station. And I'm like, I just picked up a bunch of stuff out of our forest. They don't like it much when you say our forest. But can I use your dumpster? And no ranger station I ever did that to ever denied me.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, thank you.
if we're in a state park that has trash cans, we just fill up the trash cans. Somebody's gonna come pick it up.
Yeah.
Let our tax dollars get to go to work.
yeah.
And I feel like that's the sad thing that we all experience when we're out. Normally we find this trash and the stuff, and there was a trash can less than 50 feet away in almost every situation.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right about that. And Ed, Dano, and Jess talk about that a lot too as canners on the creek, where they get out to what they think is going to be a beautiful, pristine creek, and they end up having to pull trash out of it to make it look better than when they got there.
Right. That's something that you need to show on your videos that you clean up. It puts us in a better light.
Yeah. And that's that's the one of the annoying things about magnet fishing. I feel like a lot of people don't understand it or know what it is, and they're quick to assume that you're throwing things in the water or doing something you're not supposed to be doing, and they actually don't know that you're helping.
Yep.
And I feel like there's a lot of places. I can't tell you how many. We have a lot of marinas around here. I can't tell you how many marinas I've emailed and not gotten a response or gotten told no when I just want to go magnet fish the docks at their marina.
Yep.
And there's people that have gotten permission for marinas, and this is another great ideas for spots. If you have marinas near you and you can get permission, you'll find trolling motors, anything that's falling off somebody's boat, tools, knives, multi-tools, fishing poles, boat tie down straps, pieces of trailers, you name it, it's all there.
I used to work on a reclamation dredge back home in Washington, Jacob, and it's when we were in San Diego dredging out yacht clubs and stuff, and it was amazing what I had to untangle out of the cutting head. Barbecues, bicycles,
Cast nets, you name it.
all kinds of stuff.
The bikes. Have you guys got any bicycles?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm sick of them. I'm so
Yeah,
sick of them. I
I
never want to
think-
see another one again.
I honestly, I was trying to keep count, but I lost count. I'm sure we're somewhere near the 20 bikes or so now.
Probably so.
And I've found a ton of shopping carts, at least 10 or 15.
That's something we don't get a lot. I think we found one maybe, and we couldn't even get it out. It was so sunk into the mud. Like it was half a shopping cart, and then the rest of it was in the mud, so we couldn't. It wasn't coming out.
And that's one thing. That's one thing. Scrapyards are weird about taking too.
Yeah,
Well,
they-
they're property of the
Yep.
supermarket.
That's right.
They have people, I know in big cities out west, they have people that actually retrieve them and take them back to whichever shopping center or supermarket that it came from.
I did that in an early video. I called it preemptive magnet fishing. There was this one spot by my house where there's railroad tracks. There was literally 6 shopping carts sitting there, and I was tired of looking at them every day. So I put them all in the back of my truck and took them back to the stores that they came from. And one of the stores, I emailed a couple of the stores and was like, hey, just to let you know, I brought some shopping carts back. And I was trying to see if any of them wanted to build a relationship like that, or I didn't know if they do things like that here. One store actually gave me a gift card for like $5 per cart, but they were kind of like, this is a one-time thing. You know, we don't usually do this, but it's crazy around here. There's homeless people and people, they just take them and they push them to where they need to go and they leave them.
Right. Some kids, making some YouTube video by
Yep.
pushing each other in the bushes or
Playing Jackass or something.
Right.
Hey, I'm
It's
Johnny
a big problem around
Knoxville.
here.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, there's a new movie coming out. I'm excited.
Yeah, same here. I'm a Jackass kid. I love that show.
Love those movies. Oh yeah, bikes and shopping carts can be difficult. That's another thing about the 360 that I found. I don't know about you guys, but the 360 almost works itself into these bikes to where you almost don't need a grappling hook anymore.
You have no choice. You got to
With-
pull that bike out.
Yep.
That bike, whether you like it or not.
With your traditional magnets, a lot of the single sides come off, and you have to use a grappling hook because it's that round.
Yep.
That round, rusty, barnacle, mud covered.
Pull it for a second. Pull it for a second and it drops. Pull it for a second. Pull it for a second and it drops.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, the three, I don't think we're gonna stop. All of us as a community are gonna stop talking about how the 360 magnets will change how you magnet fish. It is different. It's a different type of magnet fishing once you get 360.
I'm so excited to use this big 3800 clamp magnet because it's the first clamp magnet I'll ever have used. Besides my buddy that I grew up with, actually, he's a firefighter. He won my 500 subscriber giveaway by chance, and he got a 1400 clamp. So I've seen it, but I haven't personally thrown one. And the clamp magnets are the standard in Europe and all the rage. And a lot of those guys actually went to 360s and they went back to clamp magnets, and they prefer the clamp magnets to the 360s because they're arguably stronger because you're not sharing that magnetic pull
Yeah.
360 degrees.
Yeah.
It's just two faces.
Yeah.
And they're more durable, definitely, because they have that big, thick case clamp around them.
I have a magnet store clamp. I have one. It was a smaller one. And maybe it's because it was smaller, but there were a couple times I talked about on the video where I almost felt like it had a 360 pull to it, where I put things up around the clamp and I'd show that there was still a magnetic pull.
You can still get stuff on the sides.
That's right. So
Yeah.
I was like, is this a 360 is what I asked. And then I learned very quickly it wasn't. But if I had a bigger one, maybe I'd feel different. But we started with a very small clamp, and that's the only experience we have with one is the one the magnet store does. So. And
I think these clamp magnets and the 360 magnets make the double-sided magnets completely obsolete.
Yeah, what sucks, because I love Brute, but Brute needs to catch up. They need to catch up on times, man.
They dropped the ball, definitely. Yeah. And I am still a Brute affiliate, but I couldn't wait anymore for the 360. And when Kratos came out with that, and Kratos is a USA-based small company, and that owner doesn't care. He'll tell you straight out. He doesn't care if you throw other brands of magnets. He doesn't care if you're affiliate here, affiliate there. If you want to use his magnets and make content with his magnets, it's perfectly fine by him. And he doesn't want you to be exclusive or.
Yes. Why aren't more magnet companies doing that? The Vixens. So we've gone from Brute to the magnet store to Magnetar, and then we even had Centurion. We ended up doing a giveaway because it was just, it was a small magnet. We thought about using it, but we've moved on from small magnets.
Right.
I don't understand why magnet companies aren't supporting more review videos versus affiliate videos. Like, why aren't they allowing people to talk about the range of magnets that they're trying? We haven't signed up with anybody. We haven't committed to anybody because we want people to know what these magnets are going to give them.
Right.
So we don't have any links. We don't have any, there's no paid promotion. Sometimes they send us the magnets, but we want to give reviews, not hook up with the company.
Right. Yeah. And that's where some people get this brand loyalty.
Yes.
Where,
Yep.
And there's people, and honestly, it came down to the decision that we wanted the best magnet to make the best content for our channel.
Yeah.
And at that point, it didn't matter about affiliation or affiliate sales or links, or it was, I need the best tool to make content and magnet fish. And so that's what we went with. And I'm glad we made our decision back. It's been at least 2-3 months now since we've had it. And I'm glad because we were waiting on the Brute Boss. And it's still not here. It was kind of, they're saying September, and they were saying, I think they're saying late September. And honestly, I don't know. It could be later.
When you buy your magnets from China and sell them as US magnets, and then you got to wait for the magnets from China to come in to ship them, you keep pushing back dates. I don't mean anything negative by that. I'm just saying. Well,
everybody, honestly, that's honestly what everyone's doing.
Yes.
And it is hard. Even Kratos, it took about 2 months. The first or second time out with that Titan, and I emailed the Kratos CEO and was like, I'm buying another one for Katie.
Yeah.
We want another one.
Yeah.
And we had to wait 2 months. And luckily they came out with the 2400 one.
Yep.
And like you said, I want to review it. I want to use it.
Yes.
And it's lighter. So we were like, okay, we'll get that one. And that's what we ended up doing. So now we can compare the 3,800 pound one to the 2,400 pound one, and the weights and the strengths. And then I'm going to get this 3,800 clamp, and I'll be able to say, is it stronger than the 3,800 360? But it's going to be heavier. That's probably going to be about 7 pounds, 7 pounds. That's still not bad.
Yeah, and some of the weights of these magnets.
And you have and compared to like the Brute 3,600 double, that's 10-pound magnet.
Yes.
10-pound magnet.
There's still, I'm still seeing a lot of love to Brute, and I still recommend a lot of people getting their first kit from Brute. And when you start off light, start off with something more affordable, because as you start moving into 360s.
I think hands down the best starter magnet you can buy is the Brute 1400 anti-collision, anti-corrosion. I use that forever. I kid you not, I would use it and then I would stick it to the inside of my truck bed and it would
Yep.
live there. I'm kind of bad about taking care of my magnets.
Yeah. Oh, we are too. We're terrible.
I would never
Horrible.
rinse it, never wash it,
Yeah.
never. I
No,
would
that's
use
it.
it,
Yeah.
scrape the crap off it, stick
Yep.
it to the truck bed, and that's
Yep.
where it would be until the next time I used it.
That's as it should be.
And that went on for better part of 4 or 5 months, and it was not rusty.
Mhm.
I've thrown that thing at concrete walls. I've bounced it off pipes. I've
Yep.
bounced it off concrete docks, and it's still kicking.
Is that what you pulled the anchor up with?
Yeah, with the grappling hook.
Oh,
The
okay.
brute double-sided, 1,200 pound. And it's cracked up. That's my Brutus is what I call it. It's got cracks all over it. And I still take that magnet out. We still use it. We still throw it. We're still pulling things out with it. I mean, true. I've had 3. I think I've gotten 3 of
And
the exact same thing.
they're not, so by all means, I'm sure you would agree, don't throw away or get rid of your regular magnets when you get these 360s. Keep
That's
them.
right.
Because you're gonna have friends that want to go out with
That's
you.
right.
If you have, I have a little 550 double side, no name that I found.
Yep.
I have that in the back of my truck for if I ever come across a kid or somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I have a spool of 550 paracord and that little magnet, and I'm gonna say, here you go.
Yeah. Have fun.
And it's a good tester magnet too. If you're in a new spot,
Yes.
chuck that little baby magnet out in there first to make sure there's not something under the water that is going to take your 360 and you're not going to be able to get it back.
That's why Angela and I, we use such a difference in sizes. And that's why I say, Katie, don't ever be upset if you're using a smaller magnet, because you can be the tester.
Yeah.
And then you can, oh, I can't get it with my magnet. So, either I borrow Angela's or I let Angela pull it out, but Angela gives me credit for it.
Yeah.
and then we work together. So 2 different sizes, there's different reasons. When you're throwing those super heavy 360 magnets, you risk losing it if you're going to throw it in blindly. You're risking it.
Every single time.
$100. So
We've
throw
got
a
our
smaller one
magnets
than
stuck together a
the
few
bigger one.
times.
Yeah. We got them face to face one day, the 2400, 360 and
Yeah.
the
Because we were
3800.
trying to double team this big long thing, and I was on one end and he was on the other, and I was already stuck to it, and I was like, just drop it straight down. He said, okay, and then it went, nope.
They were on the side.
Yeah.
They were on the side, and I was like, all right, we're gonna yank them apart and it's gonna be fine. Well, when we yanked, they went face to face. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And we were talking about
Oh, go ahead.
losing magnets earlier. So we have lost one other time. Katie didn't realize that you have to tighten the carabiner.
That's before before
It
the
happens.
360.
It happens, Katie.
So she throws out her 1400 brute. She's bringing it back in, and she pulls the rope up,
I know, I was
bare
like,
carabiner,
"Oh."
and she's
Yep.
like, "Oh, I don't think that's supposed
I
to
was
happen."
like, oh, no wonder
Yeah,
it felt really
you're right.
light.
Luckily, I could see the bubbles from where she threw, and I threw my 360 right in that spot, and it only took me 3 or 4 casts, and I got it right back.
To get it back. One thing we review a lot are the carabiners that come with magnets. You guys need to talk about that too, because some of those cheaper carabiners will loosen on their own. And then
Mhm.
as you're pulling up, you realize that you go to grab it and you realize that it's open and you could lose your magnet. from that.
Yeah, and now that brings up a whole nother point of, with our 360s right now, we're just using the polymer knot directly, but a lot of other people, you have the stainless steel or aluminum, and then I guess a good rule of thumb, always match the pull strength at least of your magnet with your carabiner strength.
Yep.
But you got to be careful. Some of those Amazon sites and Chinese stuff could be knockoff.
We tell everybody, if you're going to buy from a brand that other magnet fishers are using. We typically say stick to Brute. We do use Magnastore. We do use Magnetar. And now we're going to have to hit up Kratos.
We got Brockton in here. Yeah, you definitely won't be disappointed. And I'm sure the CEO is super cool. His name's Ben. They're based out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He is actually an archaeologist by trade full time. And he thought the magnet scene in the US was kind of stale. And that was the cool thing. We got Brockton in here. What's up, Brockton?
Oh, you got a sticker I don't have. I'm Jelly.
Uh-oh.
Brockton. Time for a trade.
I got
Sorry.
something else too. We got a little. I actually just ordered poker chips. I'm excited about that. But I got Brockton poker chip. He he thought the market was kind of stale in the US, and it was, because look at Europe with their 360s and their clamps, and we didn't have any of that in the US. And I don't know how he did it because he's really small. He made it happen. He got the clamps, he got the 360 magnets, and he's still the only company in the US right now with the clamps and the 360s for sale. I'm sure eventually all the other ones will fall in line.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
But if he owns that market, I mean, Brute, when they started, Brute still dominates the market. I mean, they're behind on the magnets, and that name is a very common name with
Brute's like Walmart in the magnet world, for the US at least. They're well known. But Katie's got to go. She's got to go walk the dog. The dog's acting up.
Dog's pacing the floor, looking for a place. You better go, Katie.
Bye. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, the Vixens would love to fish with both of you guys sometimes, but I think you'd fit right in. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that would be so fun.
And Flash Bash is a family-friendly atmosphere. So
yeah, I could bring her maybe, or it might be a boys' weekend with snorkels.
Hey,
bring Katie, bring Katie. You can stay with us. You can stay with us, Katie.
Thank you. Yes,
boys.
Yeah. All right, bye, y'all.
Hi, nice meeting you.
You too.
All right, now we're back to Tidewater magnet thrower. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, there we go. Yep, the OG sticker. Yeah.
A very good friend of mine, Michelle Kellogg's in the room. I grew up in the same neighborhood, hung out with the same people she did in Southern California, and we both were smart to Exodus, California. She lives up in Washington now. She loves the Vixens.
Yeah, we love you right back, Michelle.
Good to see you in here, Michelle. And we loved having your daughters and of course you and your wife, Ellsworth. Great family.
Absolutely.
And those girls can sure give a hug. Talk about a triple bear hug, I tell you.
Sweeties, they're sweeties.
So what do you got planned for your YouTube future?
I guess just keep pumping out the content. Right now I was doing 2 videos a week, but that was it's a lot of work. I don't want to get burned out. And so
I hear you're changing the name of your YouTube channel.
I added an S. Yeah, we added an S. And now I'm trying to change everything else. I gotta, add an S to the logo and add an S on the merch stuff. And so slowly, probably over the next week or so, I'm gonna make an effort to add an S on everything. And definitely deserved by Katie. She's definitely in it now with me just as much as I am.
Into it, right?
Now, have you had anyone come up to you yet and approach you? Like, I know you.
So we were magnet fishing one spot, and it was after I found the anchor, and the guy was like, "Oh, I saw that on the news. Some guy found an anchor," and Katie was like, "Yeah, that was him." So that's the closest we've come, but not no one's been like, "Hey, that's Tidewater."
It'll happen.
It will happen.
It will happen. And what's going to be weird is when it happens, it'll be in a weird spot. Somewhere unexpected, like they heard your voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or when it's for a bit, it seemed like every time I was telling Jesse I'm done, I'm about done, someone would approach me or us and say, "Oh, I like your stuff, like your live stream." I haven't threatened to throw in the towel much with live streams. I love it too much. And GoPro Unlimited, thank you for the super chat. But a little news on that. at my mother's request, I am not going out to Washington for her birthday. I had a nice talk with her over the weekend while we were on the river, and I'm gonna save it for a longer trip because it'd be about $1,000, if not a little more, for just a weekend. So I'm planning maybe a 3-week trip next week, or I mean next year, and drive straight there with our trailer, spend a few days visiting with mom, then driving back. So you never know, you might get a call when I'm going through Utah. Okay, send the money back. All right, minus the 30% because YouTube takes that. Whatever you want, Jeff. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're clear up by Canada, Michelle. Mom's in Vancouver. That's a 4-hour drive up to you. But I'd love to see Skagit Valley and Bellingham.
Talking about it's no big deal to drive 8, 10, 15 hours to go somewhere.
But when it's 3 days, that's different.
Yeah, you need an extended amount of time to have a trip like that. I was going to talk about that earlier. When we do an 18-hour trip, we don't do it for the weekend. We do it for a week. You know, that drive time takes away a lot of it. So
Yeah.
That's what like I went to visit my mom in upstate New York a couple months ago, and I took my mom and my stepdad magnet fishing, and that was cool. And I'm sure we all do this. We use family trips as a way to go treasure hunt somewhere new, and whether you stop somewhere on the way for the night or on the way back or while you're there, I'm sure we all make an effort to use those family trips as a way to travel and and then see what other channels are, if there's any channels in the area, and that's definitely what we try to do.
And it's a great time, to introduce your family, who some of them may be interested in the YouTube channel, want to pop their little heads in for a second, or they want to be there.
That's the funny thing too. Like Ed was talking about these lives. I love these lives. And maybe our future plans, we do sometimes a Friday night before Magnetic Squatches, and it's not an every Friday thing. It's kind of here and there when we're going to do a giveaway, and maybe once it gets cold, we'll make it an every week thing. Yeah. But I do love the live streams, and I try to pop in everyone's live stream and at least give it a thumbs up. And actually, I love your guys' stream when I'm at work and I'm busy. I'll just leave it up in the background and just listening to the conversation, and it's fun. It's almost, I'm sure a lot of our significant others get a little annoyed with us sometimes because they're like, "There's a live every night." Right.
Now who are you listening to?
Another live? You got another live you're
on? Who's live tonight? Who's live tonight? Yeah. Yep.
Last time I saw you on a live, I believe it was on Aaron's live.
Yes. Yeah, we were. So that was.
Sorry, I was lurking that night. I don't think I typed once in the room. Sorry, Aaron.
That was a funny thing too. So me and Snorkel Pirate set a record that night. We did a 6-hour live stream. We were in there for 6 hours. It was insane. Wow. We were just hanging out, and that's a lot of times, you're just hanging out amongst friends and talking, and the time flies. And so I had a live, I think it was 2 Fridays ago now, and Magnetics. So I usually run a live from 7 o'clock at night till 9:30, and Magnetic Squatch comes on at 9:30 or 10, and he runs till late. And a lot of times I'll run mine and then I'll direct everyone to his. Yeah. Well, that night he took a night off, and Magnetic Squatch actually, he did 22 Fridays in a row. And then I guess his old lady said, "Hey, take a night off." So I had an open free reign, and he was like, do what you want. And we went for we went for 6, like Aaron's was 6 hours on the dot, and we did mine for 6 hours, 6 minutes, and 8 seconds. So I made a big deal about it. I was like, new live stream record. So now he's gonna have to come back and beat that.
Okay, I'll wait till you guys break 4 years straight without missing a Tuesday or a night.
I was
That's
gonna say
impressive.
Flash in Your Pan probably has the longest running, consecutively for sure.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think one of the things that helps us do that too is we keep our show down to about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I like about running before somebody else's, is it locks me, it commits me, because I'm not going to step on anybody's toes in any facet of the treasure hunting community. Like, you guys have Tuesday nights, Ohio River History has Thursday nights, Squatch has Friday late. You got on Sundays you have FL Thunder Digging with Rob and Mayor videos. Those guys, you guys have your days and your times locked down, and
Yeah.
I play outside of that.
Well, and for us, the 2 hours is personal reasons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Not because we're, not because there's anybody following us. It's just that we decided 2 hours is a good amount of time. Not that we always stay at 2 hours. We run over a lot.
Yeah, we run over a lot because we're at our 2 hour mark right now, and time flies, right?
Well, everyone's got real life and family stuff and
Right. Bedtimes.
Yep.
Bedtimes, guys. People have bedtimes.
Work in the morning, you never know.
Yeah.
And I guess when you're consistent too, and people know you're going to be on from 8 to 10.
That's right.
People know.
Yeah. Even our chat room starts leaving.
Yeah.
About now, not all of them for sure, but
you can kind of see when it starts to dwindle down. That was the funny thing about that night where we ran 6 hours. I think early on when I was doing the giveaway and stuff, we had 50, 60 strong, and it was awesome. But it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. We still had like 17 people in there, so we just kept it rolling.
Going strong.
Diehards. But what's cool is I was honored enough to be able to do a 24-hour live stream with some other treasure hunter channels.
That'd be cool.
Marlon from our videos, Paul from Woodland Relic and Recovery, and others, and they had time slots for y'all. So that was pretty fun, and it was like a marathon. I know there were people that followed them, just went from one to another.
Although, if you think about it, there was a time that we did get off at 10 o'clock for a reason. We had our buddy Jim did his live show after ours.
That's true, and
ain't that right, Jim? You should do a show right after we get off.
and then we go raid his show. But like on Tuesdays now, we have Digging with Deej most of the time at 5:30. Then our friends, which, Deej, great gal, personal friend, she came down to Gold Rush Days this weekend. Then our friends Audra from Jersey History Hunters, she has her show on Tuesdays at 7. So I'm glad they worked around me instead of stepping on me.
A kindness in the community. It's amazing how much respect we show for each other when it comes to doing lives or scheduling videos. I really do think there's a bit of respect that goes into that, and people aren't trying to step on each other's toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it still seems like Jim's slot is still open. Yeah.
Even too, I've had where I had another channel that I was trying to get as a guest on our live, but they're very new and they're still trying to get their watch hours and get their footing and stuff. So I was like, instead of you guys being a guest on mine, why don't you guys do a live and I'll come as a guest on yours, and get that watch time and get that interaction. And I think lives help, even if it's once a month. I think a live helps with a well-rounded channel.
I think people like lives better too, especially if the live is the people that are doing the live interact with the chat room, they interact with their audience. I think that's what brings people back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much.
I've watched some live channels where they don't even talk to their chat room. They just talk to themselves about whatever it is they're
And
talking
then
about.
it's a panel of people bitching about the drama or whatever.
Right.
Mhm.
I think that if the live shows do a good job of interacting with their audience, their chat room, even those that are lurking, Two Toes. Well, no, he's probably not listening. Or he might be listening.
He might be. You never
Right.
know. Jeff's was here earlier. Jeff still could be here.
So, we have guys that we know lurk. They listen to our show every Tuesday night, but they're not in the chat room,
There's always going to be lurkers.
I think people have a preference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
some
but-
people don't want to talk or be
Yeah.
interactive. They just want to watch.
Yeah, sure, that's fine, but we know they're there, so we interact with them.
I love our lurkers as much as I love the ones that are active. You
Mhm.
know.
Brockton. I
Hashtag
love Brockton. Yeah.
Brockton sucks. Hashtag the Squatch foot.
Yeah, Squatch.
Oh, he's not here to hear me, but
He was he was in here earlier. The funny thing with that, so we were talking about lives and stuff. So my mom has kind of become a little bit of my biggest fan, and they watch all my videos, and my mom pops into my lives. Well, Squatch has his live every Friday. I actually have my got my Squatch shirt on right now.
Yeah.
So
Good looking. I got one too. That's a good shirt.
yep. And my mom bought the same shirt. So I'm on my live last Friday. And my mom's like, I want to come up on the stream. And I'm like, oh God, like, no, she's gonna embarrass me. I was so scared. And all she wanted to come on and show everyone her shirt. And it was funny. She's like, look at my, and I was wearing this shirt last Friday on my live. So me and my mom were like wearing matching shirts, and it was funny. And Squatch was in there, and Squatch was like, oh my God, that's awesome. And I love, the community is great. I love supporting and, wearing each other's merch, and it's awesome.
That's cool, Ellsworth.
That's cool.
Yeah, we love your girls right back.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Oh, Kathy's back, where she's been here the whole time.
She said Squash has gone to bed. Yeah, I think he works on weekdays.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a 9 to 5er.
Yeah.
That work stuff,
No.
That's the other thing. I guess that's the other advantage we have with my work schedule is pretty nice. I work 10 24-hour shifts a month.
Ugh.
So
some people can't. Some people are built for that, man.
Yeah. So it has its disadvantages and disadvantages. I miss holidays, and I don't get to sleep in my bed every night.
Yeah.
But I get 20 days a month to do what I want, and a lot of that is magnet fishing and content creating. And I actually, a lot of times, I work 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. And a lot of times I'll go right when I get off work. Because especially in the summer,
Out of your mind.
I get off at 8 a.m. I'll go magnet fish till like noon, till it starts getting hot out, and then go home and do whatever I have to do. But I started magnet fishing in March, so it wasn't too cold here. That's kind of jean and hoodie weather.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting when it's this like January, February, December, maybe even, when I haven't really experienced magnet fishing when it's like cold out yet.
Good luck with that.
Well, what you call cold is warm to others,
Right,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They make some really great waterproof.
I have some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think snorkel. Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
ones,
They're
the
amazing.
DNF.
game changer. You won't be able to fish without them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not too bad either. We're using the summer ones right now, like the green ones, the non-insulated.
Yeah.
They're like $2.50 a pair.
Yep.
You can get like a 6-pack on Amazon for $12. That's what we use.
Yeah, William says, wait till you get into winter magnet fishing or ice magnet fishing.
Yeah. I do love that. It's so satisfying when you see somebody throw a rope and they keep their hand on it a little bit and you see all the ice and the snow like coming off the rope and it makes the noise. It's pretty satisfying.
I'm glad it's satisfying, but it's terrible to do, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I plan on doing it. Plan on just keeping on and doing what we got to do to put up one video a week.
You got to put that content out. One video a week's still hard. You were talking about 2 a week. That's insane.
Yeah, I still do, like, if I have a scrap run or maybe I had a video that I didn't like as much, or it's not something I think that's going to be, you know, it's not going to be a 20-minute like boom, 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 boom finds. Or I don't think it's going to be a big video. Then sometimes I'll make that the second video of the week.
I want to be just like Tidewater when I grow up.
Old Brockton. I want to be like you, Brockton, by the harbor.
Well, I know I have some post-production to do, then hit the hay. Since Dano and we still wake up pretty early, and I'm sure Rose does too.
I gotta be
not Jesse, he's retired.
Yeah, you sleep in, Jess. You enjoy it.
I appreciate you coming on and joining us, you and Katie. It was fun having you on. And time does fly. Phew.
Oh yeah.
It don't seem like a 2-hour show every week.
Or I just talk too much. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you did great, man.
Jesse loves it when our guests talk a lot, you know.
I let Rose have it tonight because
this was my interview.
Right up Rose's alley here.
Magnet Fisher's holding it down.
Yep. I did a very good job of keeping quiet for the most part.
Yeah, Jess, there were a couple times where I looked over at you and I was like, nah, he's good. He's good.
Good, yeah.
Right.
Of course, I lost my sound there for a while too. That didn't help, but nobody missed. I was supposed to say,
I was a little worried you were getting hit by that storm, so I'm glad that it wasn't worse.
Well, actually, I did. That's why I left for a minute.
Yeah.
I had to go batten down the hatches because we started getting rain, some wind. Yeah. I unloaded the trailer today from Gold Rush, and I still have some stuff sitting out, so I had to go out there and get it covered up and secured.
Good.
You know, yeah. And then when I came back, my audio wasn't working. What the heck's going on? Nobody can hear me. I'm saying stuff and nobody's nobody's acting like they actually heard me. So I'm going, what's up here?
I didn't notice your mute on, Jesse. So
it wasn't on.
So usually when that happens, it's because your mute's on.
Right, I realize that. And I can tell when it's on too. I see the little red line. Yeah, no, I wasn't sleeping.
No, I looked, I checked. You're good.
Well, next week should be another good show. We're having a Canadian on. He's a detectorist, prospector. Greg from Me Miner. Should be a good show. Hopefully we have no hiccups this time. Last time he was going to be on, we had a hiccup and he was injured. So that should be a really good show. Everybody out there, thank you for joining us tonight. We all greatly appreciate it. Jeff, thanks again for the super chat. And Nikki, and you know you're always part of the Flash fam. Thanks for becoming renewing your membership. Any news, Rose?
Any news?
Anything you want to say before we say so long, farewell?
You know what? May you always have a flash in your pan.
That's my line, girl.
Sorry, no news. No
And
news.
you never know. Maybe one day too, we'll meet you on the river.
Sorry, guys. Nothing new here. I hope you guys have lots of treasure hunting fun.
Definitely. Dano, Jesse?
I'm
No?
good.
All right. Until next week, everybody, may you always have a flash in your pan.
You know what he's gonna say next.
That's right, because it does happen, huh, Rose?
Sure does.
Maybe one day, too, we'll meet you on the river or Menards or Crater of Diamonds. You never know.
Or the bridge.
Or
Yeah.
Flash Bash.
That's right. Good night, everybody. God bless. Love you all very much.
Night, guys.
See ya.
Night, Mr. Lodak.
Thank you, as always, world's greatest moderator, David. Yeah. Have a great day, Terry. Thanks for joining us, Michelle. 5, 4,
Later, Jim.
3,
Night,
2,
Jim.
1.
Night, Kathy.
It's always good seeing you, Jim.
Night, Ellsworth.
Hey, Brockton.
Jeremy.
Ohio, TA.
Terry
Night,
Marshall.
Willie.
Jeremy.